Alright, guys. New episode. So, in this episode, we're going to be changing out my rear subframe bushings, as you can see right there. I believe the right one is out, like shot completely. So every time I try to move this car, slowly, since I am on a 6-puck, the diff dances around like crazy. So, how are we going to fix this problem? We are going to be installing solid aluminum / polyurethane rear diff bushings, and then we're going to be installing solid polyurethane rear subframe bushings as well. The only thing is, I know taking these subframes off the car is a real pain in the ass, so I'm gonna try and do the most lazy way possible, so leave as much as I can in the car and just bring down the subframe and the diff. Hopefully everything else can stay up in the car, but if not, then we're gonna have to bring down the shocks, all the control arms, and pretty much like the whole rear cradle, I guess, assembly. But I think people have done it where they just take off the rear diff, and if that's the case for me, then hallelujah. If not, then we're in for a long day. I've been putting this off for about almost 6 to 8 months. I've had the bushings in my room. I just don't want to do this. But other than that, when we do get it off, we're going to have to take the rear subframe itself to either road race or just some machine shop to get the old bushings pressed out and the new bushings pressed in. This is only for the diff. The rear subframe ones, I believe, actually come off quite easily. You can get them off with just basic hand tools, but the rear subframe ones themselves, those actually have to get pressed in. So let's get the car on my driveway, and actually I'm going to see if I can show you how bad the diff shakes. I'm going to get someone to hold the camera under the car and I'll make it dance for you guys. Here we are now. I didn't get a video of the diff dancing around because I couldn't reproduce it, but now that it's finally up in the air, I'll just show you how bad the bushings are. So here are the rear diff bushings. Rear diff bushings. There's 3. Sadly, they're not like Evos where it has 4 mounts to diff. DSMs only have 3. Oh well. And here are the rear subframe bushings. So as you can see, solid aluminum on the outside, polyurethane in the middle. These are just full polyurethane. So first thing first, car jack on the wheels. I'm assessing the situation here, and I'm just gonna go by ear, see what I can do to take this off with minimal items coming out with it. Okay, I took the exhaust off to make things a little bit easier, cleared up some room over here, and now that I'm, looking over everything and assessing everything, yeah, this thing looks like it's gonna be a pain in the ass, regardless of how I do it. So I think I'm gonna do it with most things still attached to the rear subframe. And then once it's off the car, I will go ahead and remove things, because I just want to be taking this to road race, not, everything combined. The only thing is I really don't want, oh, maybe I can do it. Yeah, I can do it like that. I didn't want to remove the axles from the diff, because then I would have to empty out the diff. But what I can do is once it's off, I can remove this lower whatever lateral arm, control arm, and then pull it out this way and drop it to get the diff out of there without taking the axles out. But first plan of attack, now that the exhaust is off, all I'm gonna do is remove this bolt to the strut, and then I'm gonna remove that upper bolt to the knuckle, and that's the only thing holding it to the car besides the 4 rear subframes. So once this bolt and that bolt come off on each side, it should be able to drop after the 4 main subframe bolts come off. And then of course I'm gonna have to disconnect the diff to the drive shaft. So let's go ahead and do that and see how that works out. And here is what I ended up doing. Gosh, this is so complicated. So ended up, like I said, taking top bolt off,
ended up taking the caliper hanging, ended up taking the strut tower bolt, the rear toe arm, so I pretty much ended up taking the knuckle off. Axle bolt off, came off as well. But the main thing, the rear knuckle is off because of this clutch cable. I do not just want to disconnect that because that means you have to take off the whole brake assembly inside the rotor, and that was way too much work, so I decided to go this route. So now that the whole knuckle is off and just chilling on the floor, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side, and then the whole rear subframe should just drop. Now both sides are completely one and done. I almost stripped 2 bolts trying to take these off. I'm pretty sure none of these suspension bolts have been removed since the day this car was built. Sorry, I got my oh my gosh, I can't speak. My dad's sanding over there in the corner. But anyways, now I just gotta do those 4 subframe bolts. One there, one behind, same thing over there. I got the rear diff supported, so as soon as those 4 bolts come undone, the whole diff or cradle should just come down. So let's get to it. Okay, so now in theory, whoa! Slowly does it. Why isn't this side just okay? Okay, it's coming down. And there you have one rear subframe with diff a la carte. So here is my main issue. I'm pretty sure if I were to take these bolts off, this whole bushing would come out with it. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and try that. But anyways, so now all I'm gonna do is take off all these extra control arms and everything, and take off the rear diff, and then take this subframe to road race. So I think I found the cause of why my diff was dancing around. Check that junk out. So yeah, this wasn't doing anything. Oh, there she goes. Oh, just about. But anyways, you guys get the picture. This is absolute junk. Actually, no, I want to put this on camera. Where is my... I guess this guy should do. I'm gonna have to fast forward this probably. There you go. Ta-da! One Diff Bushing a la carte. There you go. Let's get that thumbnail. And here she is, all stripped down. As you can see, it's just the pure subframe and that front diff bushing. Yep, I think I did a number to that one. And this one also. What? Yeah. And this one also is on its way out. Oh my god. So honestly, this is why I have not been posting any drag racing videos or track videos, because whenever I was dicking around with the car, launching it, the diff would literally sound like it was about to explode. So I figured it was these things, and boy, oh boy, for sure it was these diff bushings that are shot. So once these get fixed and replaced, I am down to go back to the track and start launching this car again. But enough chit chat, let's go load this up to the car and take it a road race to get these babies pushed in. Okay, so a little bit of a hold up at road race. They're too busy for me to get the sub-rings pressed in today, and So they said like it's gonna be a couple of days to a week, and I was like, you know, I'd rather do it myself then and manage with what I got. So got my new light set up. What we're gonna do is, I already got, you know, that one pulled out, this one is pulled out as well. I'm just gonna set fire to them now so we can cut it with a sawzall.
They don't look like, press? How do you call it, press?
Yeah, they press them in, but you gotta take the old ones out first.
So you're gonna have to take it somewhere to press it in?
No, I'm gonna hammer it in. But press is much easier. On to phase 2 of the whole operation. So you're gonna need a sawzall now, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna, like I set fire to the bushing so it just could expose this metal ring, that ring right here, so it'd be easier to cut. So with a sawzall, you're gonna go ahead and start cutting that ring. Careful not to cut into the actual subframe portion of it. I got a little nick there, but nothing big. Anyways, once you cut it in half with a sawzall, you're gonna then take said cutting chisel are way more effective. I was trying to use just that regular one over there, but it took too long, so switched over to a cutting chisel and boom, made cake work of it. So this is the sleeve that was in there, and you just gotta hammer it out until boop, she pops out. Pops the cherry. So now I am on this one. I'm almost there. This one, if you remembered, has a full, the bushing was completely intact. And so what I did to get access to it is I used a drill and actually drilled multiple holes all the way around it, and then just with a freaking hammer, just hammered it out, the bushing portion of it, so I can set it on fire, then get to this ring. So that ring's out. Let's go ahead and take off this ring now. All right, next phase. So you can do a press, but I don't think most people don't have very luck with press. Very good luck with press. So wow, I can't speak English. So you're gonna start it with a blow hammer, and then you're gonna put a 2x4 on it, and then with a big hammer, wherever I have it, right here, my Munir, you're gonna have a block of wood on this surface, and then you're gonna be just smack the hell out of the wood, pushing this in. But you want to get started as fast as you can with a rubber hammer mallet, so you don't, mold up the aluminum, and then you're gonna clean up as well any chips you might have done with the chisel. So this one's clean, but I'm gonna have to clean this one up a little bit, and then we're gonna get started on smacking. So gave up last night. Too much hammering. I got tired. This is what we ended up doing. As you can see, bushings are now finally in place. This took way too long. What I ended up doing, like I said, is just tapped it in slowly with a blow hammer, and then put a 2x4 on it and just went to town on these bad boys. Just smacked them in. I put some grease around the bushing as well to ease it in, but with enough persistence and smacking, they are finally in. So now we just gotta do the rear subframe bushings. So you can go the torch way. However, the torch that I bought, the original one was working well, but I ran out of propane, so I went to go buy a new bottle, and this bottle just sucks for some reason. I feel like it doesn't have any pressure, so as soon as I turn it up all the way high, I'm getting little to no flame. So it is burning them, but it's not cooking them, so it was taking way too long. So I called it quits for the night and decided, to regroup and reassess and try to figure out how I'm gonna get the subframe bushings on. And I was talking with my dad, and I was like, you know what, like, this is a perfect circle, these subframe bushings. So I was like, what happens if we got a hole saw, you know, that would like fit perfectly between the bushing and this outer ring sleeve, since I need to keep this sleeve intact still. So he's like, oh yeah, like I have a couple of hole saws. And luckily we found a hole saw that fits exactly on the dime. I don't know what size this is. Oh wait, I do. It's 2 1/8, 54 millimeters. So in case any of you guys plan on doing this with the hole saw rather than the torch method, it fits perfectly. Like seriously, like that's like a glove. So not only are you going to be cutting out the bushing, but you're also going to be not damaging the inner sleeve that you still need to keep. But regardless of that, you're going to need a torch anyways, because you need to clean up the inside of the sleeve so the new bushing can fit in there. So I'm going to go return that old propane tank and see if I can get a new one that'll hopefully fix that problem. Anyways, as you can see, this is what I'm talking about. That's the old bushing right there. I'm like halfway there. You need to also keep that this pin as well. So like I said, that's how they look once they're cut out, and pretty much it fits right down that middle, and it just cuts through it like butter. So I'm on my last one here. I'm gonna take it out, go return the torch, and then get cooking again. Phase 524. Okay, as you can see, I currently have that bushing on fire, and I think it just went out. Anyways, so what you're gonna do now is you need a torch. So the bottle ended up being okay. My nozzle is what the problem was, so I got a new nozzle. And you set the bushings on fire, and then you're gonna need a wire wheel. Okay, sorry, the battery died on my camera. So as I was saying, you're gonna need a wire wheel like that guy. That's 2 inches. It fit perfectly. I mean, it's a little, I wish it was bigger, but 2 inches worked just fine. And then once you burn off all the bushings inside and you clean them up, you're gonna get the wire wheel, and you're just gonna go ham inside of these things, and you're gonna wire off all the extra rubber on it. So it's gonna look something like that, nice and clean on all 4 corners. And once you get that done, you are officially done with the subframe portion of it. Now you're gonna move to the old bushings that were in the subframe. Hold on. Gotta keep these guys on fire. Anyways, so these top hats were on the old bushings. On the stock one, what you're gonna do is you wanna melt off that rubber portion of it, because there's a metal piece under it. You're gonna melt it off till only that metal piece is there. And then for those pieces over there, you want that ring, that metal ring in them. So pretty much burn off everything until there's only metal left, because you're gonna reuse those. So I'm gonna let these bushings keep on cooking. This is all cleaned up and ready to go. New bushings are just gonna slide in as such in there. You can hammer them in. They said it's okay to use grease to like help it slide in more so it won't make noise, but these are going in fairly easy already, so I don't think I'm gonna have any problems with that. So let's wait till that's done cooking, and we should be ready for the next phase of this. Okay, I am on the last of the burning material. So like I said, in those bushings you will get these metal tubes, rings. I just cleaned them off with a grinding wheel as best as I could. All these are gonna do is slide into here so I can give it support when it's getting in the subframe. So since it's already there you go, that's in. Next we just gotta finish these top hats so they will go under the polyurethane bushing. So keep on burning. It's pretty much what I've been doing for the last hour or so, just burning off material. This stuff smells terrible too. And last but not least, subframe bushings. So, like I was saying, for the top hats, here they are. I just repainted them right now. Honestly, the torch that I was using was taking way too long. So if you guys are gonna do that, I recommend getting your boys over, starting up a barbecue, because all I did was start a fire and threw them in there, and within like 30 minutes or 15 minutes, the whole rubber bushing was completely gone, and it would have saved me like almost an hour if I would have thought of that idea before, instead of, you know, just using the torch to get those off. But finally, they are drying right now, ready to go. They're gonna go on here. As you can see, the subframe bushings are now on with the metal ring that I got from the previous bushings. It would have been also easier to throw these bushings that I was trying to get into that fire, but whatever, you know, this is my first time doing it, learning as I go. So I got 3 bushings already in. I just need this last one. I'll just show you guys how, thankfully, how easy these guys go in. It's just simply can go in by your hand, and there you have it. Subframe is now ready to go. Let me go ahead and flip it over. We'll put the other rings that it came with. These guys go right here, as you can see. Boop. And then this is now officially ready to bolt up. And the last pieces of the puzzle are finally together. We got the diff bolted back on. As you can see, bushings are in, as well as that guy. This diff ain't going anywhere now. Like I said, all we need is the rings that go under here. That'll be it, like that. And then the top hats, fresh from paint, go right there. So there you have it. Let's go ahead and bolt this up for the last time. Alright, chaps, we have now got this subframe bolted up. As you can see, bushings are in, everything is torqued down. I got the lower arms on. As you can see, all I need to do now is get the diff bolted up to the drive shaft, get the exhaust bolted up. What else? After that, it's gonna be the toe arms, and then I can just put the knuckles back on, and then brake calipers, and then we should be solid. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll catch you in a little bit. Finally, it is all done. So pretty much all you gotta do, re-bolt the knuckles. So bolt up here, bolt on the side right here, bolt in the middle right here, and then you gotta bolt on your toe arms, done. Then you gotta bolt on the shock, done. Bolt on the caliper, done. And then once you do that, it's pretty much it. So exhaust is now bolted back on. We got it going. What else? That toe arms are bolted on. I already said that sway bar's bolted on. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All we gotta do now is put on the wheels and go for a test drive. See how she feels. See if I can see if the diff shakes anymore. Pretty sure it won't. Same thing here. You really can't see anything though, but you're gonna have to trust me and take my word for it. So I'm just gonna put my wheels on, and then we should be good to go. Okay, here we are. Sorry my voice is gone. I'm a little sick, but here we are driving the car with the new bushings installed. So this is subframe bushings and rear diff bushings. For sure, there is more differential noise on downshifting and accelerating hard and letting off the throttle. I think it's the diff actually locking, and you can actually hear it pretty bad. It's not, but like this car is already like race car focused, so it's not unbearable. It's just different. It's something new, you know. But yeah, other than that, the regular just driving on the highway that I am right now, it's the same. For sure, there's more steering input. Like, it's way more responsive with the subframe bushings. I can only imagine if I did the front ones as well. The rear is like so active now. It wants to like turn in, and it just goes with every steering input you put. It's really nice. So I think I'm gonna be doing the front subframe bushings pretty soon. Even though how much I hated doing these rears, I need the fronts now. But other than that, it's worth it. But I wouldn't be doing this again if, you know, I got another one of these cars. But let me see if I can downshift for you guys right now. You guys can hear how loud the diff is. That was okay right there.